My father died 5 years ago and my mother recently passed away. She told my 2 sisters and me that she hoped that one of us would want to live in her house after she was gone and that we'd be able to keep it in the family. After she passed, we checked the will and she left everything to the 3 of us equally. There's not a lot of money, but some. The big thing was her house. I'm married with a family and we have a home, so it makes no sense for us to move there. My younger sister lives in another state and there's no way she can take over the house, but my other sister has been renting and she's been planning to move in. I say she needs to buy the house from my younger sister and me, but she can't afford it. My younger sister says she needs to rent the house from us and pay us each month. But she says that this is what mom wanted and she told us all that, and she's the only one willing to do what mom asked of us. So she plans to move in and not pay rent or buy out our shares. What should we do? Middle sister. This is a good one. This is a good one because when I go to the comments under the post, you might find one of mine. I'll link the post below so you can go and participate. Most people think that the sister who wants to live in the house is in the total right. First, let's talk about the mother. So the mother died. In her will, she left 3 of her daughters a house. One of them lives out of state, one of them has a family, a husband and 3 children, and the other one seems to be by herself, the one that wants to live in the house for free. There are problems with how the mother left this. If the mother specifically wanted it to stay in the family and wanted one person to own it while it is in the family, then she needed to put in the will which child should have gotten the home. Because the only way that this outcome is solved fairly is if one of the parties breaks one of the rules. So the rules that have been laid down is that 1, the house belongs to all 3 of the children equally, and 2, the mother would like to leave it in the family. The best way to leave it in the family would be for the daughter who cannot afford it to take out a mortgage and buy out the other 2 siblings at a discounted rate. But it's already been discussed that she can't do that. A lot of the other comments here, they have some suggestions to where the sister who lives there should pay for the taxes and any other things that should happen to the property, while the other 2 keep their name on it, and if someday they want to sell it, they would all still get a portion of that income equally. The problem with that is if something were to happen or if the house wasn't properly taken care of, then the other 2 sisters who don't live there, whose name are on the house, are liable for anything that could happen, right? So if the sister that lives there says, you know, I'm not paying the taxes and I'm not gonna tell anyone, the government will go after all 3 of them equally for their share in taxes. It is never a good idea to own something that is just a liability. You shouldn't have things that only can potentially get you in trouble. And if they keep their name on this deed and they're not living there, they're not benefiting from it, then it can come back to hurt them. On the other hand, if they sell the house and split the money equally, then it's no longer in the family and we're avoiding that other wish that the mother wanted from them about keeping it in the family. Here's what I would do. I will not honor the dead if it's gonna put the relationship between me and my siblings in jeopardy. I love you, Mom. If you did this to me and you said you want to keep this house in the family, but there's no way for all 3 families to live in that house, there's way too many bodies already. There's no way all 3 of them are gonna live in the house. The mother should have known that. She should have known that this house cannot be occupied by everyone, so keeping it in the family would be difficult. So I would sell the house, cut it into thirds, I'd give it to my other 2 sisters. The sister who is renting but wanted to live in the house, she could now go and that's a huge down payment on another house. Let's assume that the house was $300,000, which is a little more than the average price for a home. If it's sold for $300,000, I get $100,000, my sister gets $100,000, my other sister gets $100,000. There's so much each family can do with that money that would make their living station okay, right? She could put a down payment on the house I live in was purchased for $168,000. She could put $100,000 and get herself a nice 2-bedroom in a nice house depending on where she lives. But even if she lives somewhere expensive, $100,000 can still be a decent down payment for a house that doesn't have a lot of bedrooms. Like, she will be okay. She could even rent for an extended period of time with that $100,000. I think it would be extremely selfish of her to be the only one living in this house as far as her siblings go, even though she would be honoring one of her mother's wishes. While that's the way I would take, I acknowledge that my way isn't the most middle grounded way. Well, the most middle grounded way would be if she were to live there, they can come up with some kind of agreement where she pays a discounted rent to her other 2 siblings until she's able to reach the amount that would buy them out at a discounted rate. I think that would be the most fair path if the oldest sister really and truly wanted to honor her mother's wishes, but is unable to afford carrying out her mother's wishes. Like, she wants to take care of the house, fine, but you guys need to write up an agreement for a lease to own. Charge her, don't charge her as if she's paying to rent. Like, don't charge her interest. Don't try to like bank off of your sibling. Make them pay what's fair. Make them pay a third or 2/3 of whatever, you know, the mortgage value used to be, and just set up the time frame. Figure out how long you want that agreement to stay, how many payments it needs to be, how much that money needs to be, and don't put interest on it. You're not here to benefit from her. You're here to help her, help everyone involved in this situation keep this house in the family in a way that is fair to everyone, so that no one is taken advantage of, so that you can carry out your mother's wishes. To parents out there, I'm talking to you. This is why it's super important to have a will, why it's super important to be specific in your will, right? You just have to be specific in your will. If I could talk to the daughter that I think is being selfish and just wants to live there rent free, I would ask her to subscribe to my channel and smash that like button, because she might learn something from my advice that makes her just a little bit less selfish. Peace.